Hey, beautiful planet, ladies and gentlemen. This is Intimacy with the World show with Lana Elko. I do it every week on Fridays. And today I have an amazing topic for you. And something that I really felt connected and called to share, right? If you're not familiar with my work, I'm a relationship and feminine empowerment coach, and I developed this system of archetypes. Usually it's for women, but sometimes men also take my quiz, and it can be also relevant to men as well. But I created for women to discover their true feminine archetype and really find out how they are wired to this reality, to this life, how they relate to others, right? And how they perceive this world and what are their soul values. So for different archetypes, these are all different things. So we're all different and we can't possibly put ourselves in the same box and live from the same place with the same values. So that is so important, and I wanted to start sharing some deeper information about these archetypes that I discovered and help you to be more yourself, help you to accept your true nature, help you to bring something that maybe you're not completely aware to the surface and find out why you feel uncomfortable or you don't belong, or like whatever you're feeling in your life, right? So if you didn't take my quiz, if you're curious to find out what archetype you represent personally, you can take my quiz on lanaelkocoaching.com, and right there on the homepage you can click take the quiz and it will take you there. Today I want to share information and insights for those ones who took my quiz and they discovered that they're mystic archetype, and maybe you didn't even take it, and maybe you just feel it inside yourself. And the biggest sign, the biggest challenge of mystic archetype is a feeling of non-belonging. It's like extreme feeling of non-belonging, feeling like an alien in this world, not relating to values in your culture, no matter where you go, not feeling that you're home, and feeling like completely misunderstood, not finding the right people who can really understand you on a deeper soul level, right? You could feel this way from your childhood, you can still feel this way. Maybe you start to find others who feel the same way and you can start relating to them. But that is the core challenge of the mystic archetype, the feeling of non-belonging. Oh, somebody's joining us? Say hi so I can see who you are and where you're from. So just to remind you, in my work, I discern 4 fundamental feminine archetypes, and they are all different, wired different, and each woman who takes my quiz, she finds out what's her dominant, like main archetype. Oh, thank you for your emojis. And what is her Alexei Gripsto. Hey Lupa, you can discover something about yourself as well, and take my quiz, by the way. I know a few men took my quiz, which is very interesting. So there are 4 fundamental archetypes, and each woman has one dominant, one supporting. Supporting is the one that you develop to find your own place in your culture, to find a way to belong, to connect with your culture and society. And it's more like your social masks that you need to have in order to connect and find happiness and function in the society. So there are 4 archetypes there: Amazon woman, La Femme Fatale, Good Girl, and the Mystic, right? And each archetype is, there are no bad or good archetypes, right? They all have their own light and dark sides, the challenges and advantages. And each archetype, when fully activated, accepted, and integrated in your personality and life, gives you an opportunity to be in your power. And I call it empowered archetype. An empowered archetype is for Amazon woman as being a queen, the queen of your life, right? And you know, living from that place. For La Femme Fatale is the goddess, right? The goddess, the muse. For a good girl is it's a great mother. You know, usually the good girls is the hot people, women who are really centered in their heart, and they really good mothers. They're good wives, right? That's their calling. And it can be also integrated in their professional life, that quality, right? And mystic is a high priestess, right? She's serving the divine. She's serving the spiritual connections. So today I will talk about mystic more, because I already shared some information about all these archetypes. So you can look back and watch my other videos about that. So today I want to focus on mystic archetype, and the beauty of this, because I enjoyed talking about it so much, because I represent this archetype myself, right? And I've been struggling to find my place in the world, to find a way to belong, to find my community, my tribe, to connect with people so they can understand where I come from and what's going on, right? All right. So the hardest, as I said, the biggest challenge for the mystic is the feeling of non-belonging. Like, if you don't belong, you don't relate, you don't know why you were born here, because you have nothing in common with your social environment. This is how I felt from my early childhood, growing up, and there was a Soviet Union and post-Soviet Ukraine. I had no clue how to fit in. I had no clue what I'm supposed to do in this society, how to navigate it, and how to connect with people, because I felt nobody understands me, nobody can relate to my experiences. Oh, somebody else is joining. Say hi so I can see who you are, where you're from. And I had no clue what to do with my life either. So that was my situation, and you know, it took me some while to figure it out. It took me a while to find what I can do and how I can enjoy my life, because many mystics they tend to be isolated, and because they can't deal with mundane is very boring for them. The values that society offers usually are not satisfying, and they don't resonate with their own deeper values. And many times they feel isolated, and they stay lonely, they stay on their own, and they become really self-sufficient with the internal system of the support. So they have really powerful connection with the divine, or their higher self, or the source, or the universe, whatever you call it. They have it from early years, and they have certain capacities that other people usually, you know, don't have, or they don't even understand what it is. And that is the veil between spiritual realm and physical world is very thin. So they might have some visions, they have some downloads from the other realms, they have lots of mystical experiences, and those mystical experiences, they have highest value for them, because that is who they are, this is how they're wired, and they're constantly looking for these kind of experiences. So the mundane stuff is very shallow for them, and it's not satisfying. So in the highest value for them in relationship is actually spiritual intimacy, right? The soul connection. It's like the feeling that you know each other, the feeling of remembrance on the soul level. If they find themselves and they find the connection here in this life, they can find their own spiritual tribe where they feel they belong to that group of people. And I can share more about that because I had those experiences. So, and it's not so much rational, like, oh, we share the ideas. It's not on an intellectual level. It is on the energetic level. You just feel that you have connection with this group of people or with this person. And that feeling is so strong that overpowers all rational, logical reasoning, right? All intellectual, like speculation. And we'll talk more about that. So once mystic finds a mystical woman or mystic archetype finds their tribe, a group of people, they feel that soul connection, they feel that remembrance, they are able to open up instantly. They're able to get activated and step in their power and start to shine their light immediately. So time is irrelevant for them, because they can spend years and years and years in isolation, being a hermit, right? Not to be connected to anybody, and suddenly, within a moment, they feel the connection and they open up. So they are able for instant transformation, right? Transformation in terms of how they connect with external environment, right? If they recognize that energetic connection, boom, they're open, they're connected, they're aware, they get all the downloads, and it is very, very intense process. It can be like a spiritual emergency, like the remembrance. It's very intense energetic process, and I had that myself. And that, if that happens, they can get activated and step in their power and become that high priestess that they're meant to be, all right, and to help others on this path, on finding their own connection, divine connection, heal themselves, transform themselves, and they can be in great service to humanity. They are like the leading force of evolution of human consciousness, right? And they can be powerful spiritual leaders. Just wanted to focus what I wanted to share. Right, so the relationship with mundane relationship, like when we live in this patriarchal Western system, which is dominating right now on our planet, especially in Western countries, right? So how does mystic connect with that, right? Money, success, all this kind of motivation that is driving Western civilization right now. That's essential, right? So for mystic, external success, money, and all these achievements, career, whatever, business, it's not enough motivation to drive them forward, right? It doesn't have enough depth and meaning for them to inspire them to do these kind of things, right? So there is sort of, if you get stuck with that part in your life, that can be something to shift and find the true values and how you can integrate these pieces, success, money, and all these achievements, material wealth, so you can integrate it in the right way and not to betray your true nature, right? Your spirituality, your connection with the divine, your desperate need for those mystical experiences, right? So the way I see it, that if you see money and wealth and achievements, success as a path to your own freedom that gives you an opportunity to be completely free from, controlling system, from external, any kind of, any form of external control, right? Then it can motivate you. Then you can, overcome all these obstacles and get motivated to become successful, to have money, and to integrate this wealth consciousness piece, why you need it. So it cannot be superficial just to get more and more, or it cannot be for the sake of fame. So fame is not big motivation for mystic archetypes. Many times they actually prefer to grow in their wealth, grow their wealth, become successful, but not showing it to anybody, to kind of keep it for themselves. And they prefer to stay in kind of in the shadow and be like a gray cardinals, even if they become successful. So that's the quality, unless they find that spiritual connection, spiritual tribe, when they can shine and not and there is no need to hide anymore, right? So this is how and this is how it worked for me. So as soon as I understood that wealth, money, and success is a tool to be free, basically freedom is the highest value in this mundane world, because it sucks to be dependent and constantly feed the system with your energy, with your physical, whatever, intellectual, emotional labor. Once you find a way to be autonomous, that gives you lots of meaning. Actually, that's how I connected with these pieces, because before I was like, I don't know what I really want from this world, right? So, and I want to, and in relationships and even in friendships, we, like mystic archetypes, we are looking for soul connection. We are looking for the spiritual intimacy, that place that, even beyond this time and space, even beyond this physical form, we are still connected on the energetic level. And many times we can have mystical experience of remembering like past life or soul experiences, or something that we can't even verbalize because human language doesn't have the words for these experiences. So here we are. This is like a general look of how does it feel to be mystic archetype, right? So now I would like to share some tips based on my own experience, based on my own life journey, and how I integrated that and how I navigated those places. So I have some tips for you, especially if you represent it, so you can start to feel more connected with this feeling of home, that you can actually start creating that experience for yourself, like creating that home, creating that sanctuary, creating that physical space where can be more like your internal spiritual sanctuary, because you have it, and that's where you can escape anytime. And it's I believe it's the biggest gift, because no matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens in your external life, you have that sanctuary where you can always go and escape. And it's a good way to escape, right? So it makes you kind of very resilient and strong. But at the same time, if you don't have it in external life, in your relationships, in your whatever you do on the soul purpose, your career, your business, whatever you are trying to do to create here, that might feel like, well, waiting for another soul journey, I was like, this world is very temporary, this life is very short, so why would I bother to create something? It's gonna be gone anyway. So if you want to overcome that challenge, overcome that obstacle that holds you back from actually living your truth and being your power and being in service to others and the planet, I have some tips for you how to integrate that, because it is important. We're here for the reason. We're not just guests. We're not just like passive witnesses here. We're also creators, and we're meant to bring something new, right? We are the ones who don't have roadmaps. We are the ones who discover new lands. We are the ones who are the explorers. We are the ones who create from scratch. So we don't need roadmaps. We don't need role models. We are the ones who are creating something new, basically, and bringing something new to this physical space so the evolution can happen. And the first tip, don't betray your true nature. Don't try to motivate yourself with something that other people are motivated with, right? Like money, for example. For some people, just having money and buying stuff and, you know, kind of have certain status in society, it's important for them, right? It's important for them to be seen as successful people. They like the feeling, right? So for you, it might not be the case. It might not be authentic. So don't betray your nature. Find your own way to connect with those things. They are not useless. They can serve you. But you need to find it inside, what it means for you. Like for me personally, and I know for other people who are mystics, it's a freedom. It's your freedom to create also in the physical form, in the physical world, right? You can have your own sanctuary, right? You can have your own house and create your house the way you want it to be, and fill it something in my eye now, and fill it up with your own energy, and create this external sanctuary where you feel your body feels at home, your soul is being nourished with the energy that you're creating in your physical space, right? You might create, like, if you are on the path of service, you might create like a retreat center where people can come and heal and transform, right? That can be one of your missions on this planet. So don't be afraid to also create in physical form, or whatever it means for you. You can create, maybe it's art, maybe it's music, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to find a way to make it material, make it successful in material world, and also through money, because money is basically the energy that we are supposed to exchange for mutual benefits. That's the original reason we have money, so we don't exchange chicken for a goose. The second, yes, and that's connected. Don't try to find motivation outside. It's all inside. Like, what is this for me? You know, it's my freedom, it's my autonomy, it's my choice. So you don't ask for permission. So mystics, they hate asking for permission. They hate authority. So that's your chance. If you have external success and you have money and you have wealth, you can be free, and you can do whatever you want, and you can create whatever you want. It can help so many other people. The way I call it, to become successful for mystics, you might need a so-called authentic camouflage, and that is what I had to find, because I didn't believe if I show up in the world the way I am with this all my crazy mystical experiences, I didn't believe, at least the first part of my life, I didn't believe anybody can relate and I can apply it in anyhow, So I used certain so-called authentic camouflage, taking certain qualities from other archetypes and integrated in my personality, and creating certain social, like social persona, right? Who I am, what I want to show. And there is nothing inauthentic about it. It was more like a creative process of how I can connect with my culture. How can I find understanding? How can I communicate? It's for the sake of communication and connection, and finding a way to express yourself, so you're not betraying your true nature, but you're not also pretending to be something you are not. It's more like finding the right role in the movie. Like if you're an actress, you're finding the roles that feel good for you, that you want to play, and you don't want to take the roles that repel you and you don't like them, right? The same thing, authentic camouflage. I already told you that mystics, they explorers, and they discover new lands, new vision. They have new vision. They create new things. So don't try to. Hi, Holly. Thank you for watching. So don't try to find role models. You create from scratch. Don't be afraid to be the captain who is, you know, facing the unknown, facing the horizon. There is nobody else there. That's just who you are. You're supposed to be there. So don't be upset, don't feel lonely, don't feel terrified with that. That's normal for us. Trust. This is such a big piece that I wanted to address for mystic archetype. Trust is really, really hard to trust other people because, you know, if you don't have that spiritual connection, if you don't have that soul connection, remembrance, you know, energetic connection, you can't really share what you want to share with others, and you can't really... Hey David, welcome. And you can share that, and you can't trust people who don't understand you, right? And then knowing, and many times, because this intuitive nature that we have from our birth, we can see things that are hidden. We can see the invisible, and many times we can see in others, we can see something that they don't want to show us, right? You can see something that others are trying to hide, and they don't feel comfortable to be seen this way. So that creates this kind of feeling of separation and isolation for us to connect with others and trust others. And knowing that majority of people don't trust themselves, we question the whole definition of trust to others, because how can we trust others if they don't trust themselves, right? So for me, the way I navigate this place, I don't need to trust others. For me, I focus on love and compassion. How can I love them? I don't need to trust them completely. How can I be compassionate, right? Empathetic. How can I support? So I focus on that, and for me, it's enough to trust myself and my own connection. Hey David, so nice to see you. Welcome. For me, it's enough to trust the divine guidance, my own higher self. So I'm not looking for the same level of trust in human relationships. We haven't evolved to that place yet. If I trust my guidance, if I trust my divine, if I trust my own self, that I'm in alignment with that, that's enough for me. My relationship with people is I focus on love, without, even though I don't trust. I focus on compassion. So that's the way to go around that, because you can't fake it up. You can't say I trust you when you don't, and you don't need to. So that's the way to be. The relationships. Lupa is watching. Relationships. Now maybe you can learn something about me you didn't know before. Relationships for mystic archetype, they can never fit in traditional box. So we can't, you know, live like others. Like I never wanted to be officially married, because I felt it's an external control. It's a way of kind of external control. Like somebody has to come and validate my relationship. And in Ukraine, they put a stamp on your passport. It's like, you know, like they did it with slaves or something. So I felt that way, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be, in my relationships, I wanted just, it was enough for me to have that connection with other person, and that intimacy that we can create together on all levels, like physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. That was all I needed, and I never believed in that external validation, right? So I was very rebellious, and then I also didn't believe that everything just like white and black, right? It's like this right or wrong. I felt it's more creative process with like thousands of colors, and it's more like being in the moment and connecting and creating in the flow of energy and connection and exchange. So it's like I could never apply certain rules of how other people build their relationships, right? So I could never, like in Ukraine, I didn't even see anybody that I liked how they relate to each other or how they live together, like romantic relationships. So I was like, why would they choose something that I don't like, you know? I was in exploration mode, and whatever I did, you know, maybe it was not perfect, but at least I didn't betray myself, you know? I didn't betray what was true for me. And I was trying to communicate that. If I can say something about it. But I was doing my best to be myself, basically. And somewhere I couldn't connect, I couldn't proceed, you know, like that was just following my truth. And plus in relationship, mystic archetypes, they can't take anything from external, like quality. My phone was ringing. I had to put it, oh no, I can't put it on the, because I'm using my phone right now to make this video. So I lost it, where it was. So mystic archetype women, they can just put the list of qualities for the man they want to meet. That doesn't work this way. So it's like, it's not this rational, intellectualized qualities, right? It's not that dry. It's everything is about energetic connection. So our capacity to see beyond social roles is very, very strong, and this is what drives us. And we can recognize our soulmates, our connections, you know, love people and connect immediate recognition, right, on the soul level, even if they are not from the same like social circle or social status, you know, whether like it just doesn't matter, right? When people, you know, I never could follow that advice when they said, if you want to be successful and rich, you have to hang with those people who are already successful. I can't hang with people based on those qualities. I just want to hang people on my feeling and energetic connection. So I don't care where they come from or what they do, but I know that this is how it works, and it always worked for me. And it didn't prevent my success either, right? So they can be like, in any condition, like poor, sick, criminal, and crazy, you still connect with them and still there for them, and still that's your real soul connection. You don't care about any superficial stuff, you know. It is important for us though to keep the balance, because if we find somebody who is our like soul sister, brother, or soul mate, we might be very, very egoless, you know. We might be very empathetic and very supportive and show up and give beyond our even capacity to give. So very generous, very like limitless. It is very important to put ourselves first and stay connected with our own divine and guidance, and give others choice to do whatever they want with their life, to do whatever they want with their relationship, even if it's a relationship with us. So that is kind of the boundary that is very important for us to keep, so we don't fall into a self-betrayal or rescuing somebody against their will and against their choice. And the last one I wanted to share is that for mystics can be like leadership can be something that they don't want actually originally, but under certain circumstances it can get activated. And those circumstances, as I said, everything connects with spirit, everything connects with divine guidance and this soul connection. If you find your soulmates, if you find your spiritual tribe, that this is when you can get activated and step into leadership. This is what happened to me. This is where I felt empowered and share my gifts with others, when I felt that I'm seen for who I really am. Right? It's not self-purpose. It's not just to lead to be a leader. No, it's when it is the right circumstances, the right people, the right situation, and the calling is there to step forward. This is when it happens, and that's how it happened for me. You know, I never planned to be a leader. I thought I was like a vagabond, a free vagabond who just like exploring and witnessing. I can't do anything about it. But then it got activated under certain circumstances, right? I'm doing all these videos, I'm doing all these shows and share my truth with the world, right? I would never imagine doing this before. So don't be afraid to step forward, and it can be scary, but you know when it is the right time, when you know when to get activated and share your gifts. You will recognize your soul tribe, and there will be challenges. There will be people who judge you, who misunderstand you, misinterpret your words or energy, but that doesn't matter. The bigger you grow, the more people will dislike you and judge you. The more authentic is your truth is, you will find more like haters who will be mean to you, who will say bad things to you, who will disappear on you, whatever. But at the same time, you will find more people who connect to you on a deeper level and who can join you on this journey, right? Share this journey with you, co-create together. So don't be afraid to shed those ones who are not on the same page and the same alignment anymore. That's fine. They have their own path. There's nothing right or wrong. Don't try to judge them back. Just keep going, you know, just being your truth, and you'll find that life can be really fulfilling and full of meaning, even in this, you know, limited reality, and even under these circumstances, even in this social environment, right? Even if the values are very different from your own, right? You can still find it. That's why you're here. You're bringing your values. So thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy so many people joined, and I know many of you will watch on replay, so you can share your emojis, you ask questions, and I can come back to you. If you are a mystic archetype and you feel lost and you struggle with certain things, especially those ones I shared today, you can't find your place, you can't connect with the external world, you can't find how you can have relationship, deep, intimate, beautiful relationship with others, with your partner, you're welcome to private message me, connect with me. You can book a call, 30 minutes call, so we can talk about it, and I can help you to navigate your archetype, to navigate this reality, so you don't need to be lost. You're not the only one, right? All right, thank you everybody again, and I talk to you next week. Bye bye.